The much talked about 5G spectrum action will begin tomorrow, where the government will auction more than 72 gigahertz of spectrum with a validity of 20 years. The Exchequer hopes to garner up to 1 lakh crore from the sale, and there are 4 key players: Reliance Jio, Airtel, Vodafone Idea and Adani Data. They are currently in the running, with Jio having the largest buying capacity. My colleague Priyanshi has more. She's in the studio with us. Priyanshi, over to you.
Parmeshwar, that's right. The 5G auctions begin tomorrow and 4 applicants are in the race to participate in the bidding. Jio, Airtel, Vodafone Idea and Adani Data are in the race. Now, Adani was sort of a new entry in the network space in the 5G race. But they're not going to be competing, from what the earlier report suggests. They're not going to be competing for the network that you and me use, but only network for enterprises and for bigger firms. So that is Adani's plan, the vision in this auction. That's what we're hearing from the reports as of now. But to talk about the overall auction, 72 gigahertz of spectrum will be auctioned for 20 years, and 21,000 crore in earnest money has already been deposited by 4 players. And the government is expected to raise over 1 lakh crore from this auction. Now let's tell you about the earnest money deposit. It is the deposit that firms make before the auction, and it signals the firm's buying capacity and also their strategy. It gives you an idea of how much they're expected to invest. And in this earnest money deposit, it's been Jio that's topping the chart. Their earnest deposit is the highest at 14,000 crore. And that is why it could be seen that Jio's buying capacity and Jio's bid at the auction tomorrow could be the highest, because of course the earnest money deposit of Jio is the highest at 14,000 crore. But a larger question is, how does really our life change if 5G comes up? First, a disclaimer. Right after this auction, it's not going to be the case that all of us will have 5G to use on our phones. It's still going to take, experts tell us, a year or so for 5G to actually be a reality and be on our phones. This is sort of the first step towards auctioning the spectrum, the airwaves that allow firms to sell this, that allow firms to get this network started and give this network to people. So this is only the auction happening, and the rollout will of course take some time. But how does your life change? Well, 5G is expected to be 10 times faster than 4G. And if we get you the details, 5G's speed is around 100 MB per second. LTE, which was after 4G, that was 30 Mbps. 4G was 14 Mbps and 3G was 3 Mbps. So as you can see, 5G is 10 times faster than 4G, and it's also more than 30 times faster than 3G. But this, we talked about the speed. Let's take an example and let's tell you how really your downloads will get faster after the coming of 5G. Let's consider a 5G movie that you want to download. That could mean more than 2 seasons of The Office and maybe another season or another movie with it. So a 5G movie will take you close to 35 seconds, just 35 seconds on 5G. On 2G, it would take you 2.8 days. 3G would take you 2 hours. And currently, what we're working on, 4G, takes you 40 minutes. But going on to 5G, it'll actually be reduced from days to hours to minutes and now to seconds. Just 35 seconds is what you need to download a 5G movie, to download a 5GB movie after 5G comes in. So this is how your life is going to change. And tomorrow, the auction is going to happen with 4 big players in the market. We'll see, of course, how that fight turns out. But of course, Jio is set to be the biggest bidder tomorrow.